Hey, how's it going? Today I'm gonna be talking about we continue either way we continue series where I'm starting to do the intro. We continue series where I'm looking at different opportunities currently. I'm looking at those within the UK, but perhaps it's not necessarily limited to all the opportunities available in wider areas, not necessarily limited just to UK. I'm gonna be covering those. We continue series. We covered five, and we're gonna do perhaps another five. It depends what you are currently looking for. I don't know. I can give you a quick story. Quick story. But first, let's do intro, and I'll share a quick story. That would be advanced materials and additive manufacturing that we're going to be discussing within this video. Uh, if there are people out there who currently perhaps exchanging time for money, and because this is perhaps to most knowledge that perhaps largest percentage of people, this is what they are currently doing. If anything, I like to bring a lot of people's attention that it's not necessarily needs to be limited to that. There are other opportunities available. There might be hard, especially in the beginning. But if you're currently in the process developing your skills, perhaps you should consider those opportunities available. Not necessarily limited to what's currently been done, but there are different opportunities, and let's take a look and discuss some of those opportunities and perhaps some of the skills that might be worth developing for people out there. I have some friends sending me messages, right? Quick story. And they ask me where's my Lambo right behind my my back. I guess I don't know. But either way, some of those things can take time, right? So myself included, especially just starting out, then developing your skills, knowledge, expertise, and how much you, if anything, how much research you need to do, as well as how much articles you need to read, how much things you need to understand. So it's not definitely not for everyone, if anything. So whatever you are currently doing, perhaps keep it, keep doing what you're doing, and keep bothering others. keep bothering others and keep asking those questions because the things can take time, right? So patience, I guess, persistence, and some of those contracts, structuring those contracts as well as agreements that you might be interested in having would case might be private companies, government organizations. It can take time, especially some of those contracts, not necessarily the best contracts. Once you start reading those contracts, it can be 90 pages, right? And you need to understand all the details within those contracts. In particular, I have discussed some of those areas within the contracts. It could be just one bullet point within the contract that uh, definition of some of those words that would limit it. It sometimes it can fall on limitations of what you would like to accomplish with that project, as well as perhaps an organization who perhaps is offering for you others to solve this problem might be there to limit it, your company to do certain things, and you might yourself might be interested in doing more things, and even that, and you need to wait another, I don't know, every, I don't know, 4 months or so, 8 months, 12 months, just to do business with those organizations. If anything, there are so many opportunities out there even now. Let's discuss those. And from those, I can jump into perhaps some of the private companies. But let's stick with advanced materials and additive manufacturing and stick to today's video instead. Advanced materials and additive manufacturing are two interconnected fields that have gained significant attention, are posed to revolutionize various industries, including aerospace, healthcare, automotive, and more. Let's explore two areas in more detail. Advanced materials are referred to materials with superior properties and functionalities compared to traditional materials. These materials are designed to meet specific engineering requirements and often pose characteristics like enhanced strength, durability, conductivity, or other desirable properties. Some categories of advanced materials can include, let's go even in more detail. By the way, if any organization out there can solve any of those problems that I will be pointing out in just a second, even if solving those problems, we can potentially offer value to all the industries across, right? Been there, done it. I have some experience. Perhaps I can always improve some of those areas, but I do have a lot of experience within the industry, actually being up there, hands-on experience, and what would be required for different companies to work with whatever that would be private or government institutions. So there are a lot of opportunities up there. Even right now, when I think about it, it's so easy. It's so easy, or perhaps it's hard to enter. But when it comes to doing business, especially interest, right? So for as long as it can benefit every party involved, why would they not necessarily consider your offer, right? So just I don't know if that makes sense, but either way, just getting in front of right people and perhaps supporting all the industry, all of that. Yeah. But other, if I would share any particular examples, perhaps that would be too niche, too narrow. So since this overall industry is very large, very big, there's so many opportunities out there. Composites. These materials combine two or more different materials to create unique material with approved properties. Examples include carbon fibers, composites, and glass reinforced plastics. I have a lot of experience in this particular industry, working with some of those materials, high end, right? Something that can be potentially considered high end materials just because how hard it can be to work with some of those carbon fibers, as well as it might require a lot of professionals who has a lot of understanding how to work with those, as well as how much it can cost for whatever that might be, right? To have upfront cost when setting up all of those organizations, as well as entering the markets, as well as finding the right partners with this particular industry. And personally, I do understand some of the requirements, what might be required of a lot of people out there. Perhaps it's very hard to enter this market, right? But this market has so much opportunities out there. Even sourcing materials, some of those contracts are very interesting. The way how some of the organizations might be able to structure some of the contracts up there, as well as new markets up there, where especially if you yourself might be sourcing materials from Europe, and the new companies keep popping up, and they might be offering better contracts, better contracts, right? Nanomaterials. Nanomaterials are engineered at a nanoscale, offering unique properties. Examples include carbon, nanotubes, and graphene. So some of the opportunities are there within the market. Matter materials. These materials have properties that are not found in nature, often due to their microstructure. Matter materials can manipulate electromagnetic waves, sounds, and more, making them valuable for applications like clocking and wave manipulation. Some more examples there, as well as high-end projects that you can potentially be able to accomplish. Shape memory alloys. These materials can remember and return to a specific shape when subject to certain stimuli. They are used in various applications from medical devices to aerospace components. Biocompatible materials. Materials that are compatible with biomedical system, making them suitable for medical implants and tissue engineering. There are so many market opportunities up there with this particular industry. Myself, I don't understand this area that well, but I have seen it. A lot of people are interested in this material, as well as something that can be considered very precise compared to large scale manufacturing, perhaps output that you might be interested in looking, and some of the business principles and how you're looking to operate your business in terms of scale. What would be output? There are a lot of Canadian companies who are offering a lot of products and services within this industry, especially some of the people that I have reached out to. So there are a lot of opportunities there, as well as advanced materials are transforming industries by enabling lighter, stronger, and more efficient products. Additive manufacturing, 3D printing, in other words. 3D printing or additive manufacturing can also be considered something that we're going to be adding material. Instead of removing, we're going to be adding, right? So uh, perhaps it's easy to process and easy to understand for some people, but a lot easier for some, but might be very hard for this, right? Additive manufacturing, commonly known as 3D printing. It's a revolutionary manufacturing process that builds objects layer by layer. It is a fundamental technology that works with various advanced materials to create complex, customized, and intricate structures. Even taking or looking with the advancement that comes to software, and once you yourself might be interested in combining both of these areas, so something that software can potentially manufacture even better engines, right? You might be interested in giving particular data set to a software, and then software can solve this problem even better than people can, based on what kind of automation you might be interested in. So if software can do better than people, and then you need to manufacture, again, you might be interested in taking a look at some of those options available. I covered 3D printing in very detail, and I have been looking at the different ways how this industry is evolving over time. Perhaps something worth revising once in a while, but either way, for time being, let's go into more detail. Layer by layer printing. Unlike traditional subtractive manufacturing, where perhaps kit material would be made in particular form, and that some of the parts of that form would be removed. We're going to be looking at particular parts, but it depends. So depending on what kind of problem you're looking to solve, right? Which removes material from block to a form or product. Additive manufacturing adds material layer by layer. This allows intricate design and reduce material waste, potentially, as well as perhaps if there's an option that material can be recycled. Material versatility. Additive manufacturing can work with a wide range of materials, including plastics, metals, ceramics, and composites. Some of the companies even offer precious metals. So if you were interested in manufacturing something, I don't know what would be most or best way to do it or cost effective way to do it, but some of the companies even offer precious metals and how what kind of things you can manufacture using 3D printing principles when it comes to that. This adaptability is one of the major strengths. So if anything, there are a number of different companies up there. There are some of those within UK, some of those within Europe, particular parts of Europe. But those companies were operating on very high level, right? Customization. 3D printing allows for creation of highly customized and individualized products. This is particularly beneficial in healthcare for patient-specific implants and prosthetics. Customization, perhaps that would be compared against all the alternatives, right? So some of those alternatives might have upfront cost, as well as that would be perhaps down the line more optimal. It depends what kind of problem you're looking to solve. There are so many different ways of how things can be manufactured. Some of those ways might be more efficient compared to what kind of problem you're looking to solve. Prototyping, which I personally believe is the best way to do that with some of the alternatives, right? So 3D printing, perhaps, so if anything, would be, if not the most or best way how you can prototype things. It's widely used in rapid prototyping to create functional prototypes quickly, reducing development time and cost. From those, so once you have prototype, you can progress into different methods. But in beginning, perhaps that's a way how we to start, where to begin, and how it can improve existing model, as well as have that feedback. And you once you have the feedback, you can constantly improve on that, right? Complex geometries. Additive manufacturing can produce complex shapes and internal structures that are impossible or cost prohibited with traditional methods. There are so many companies up there within the world who can offer such a high level of 3D printing as well. Hopefully, there will be more and more companies popping up in some of the parts in Europe. Hopefully, that's what I'm hoping for. But not necessarily yourself, and you're doing research, you not necessarily need to limit yourself just to Europe. There are different options available up there, especially talent pool, right? So there are so many different talented people. Some of those talented people are very niche and very localized. So they, once you start doing research, you will understand what I'm talking about. Either way, sustainability it often results in less waste and more efficient use of materials, contributing to sustainable efforts. So if anything, you can potentially think about full chain and how you're going to be looking to work with some of those materials up there. I have published a course. Within this course, I'm sharing a lot of information with some of those areas, which I personally believe are very important. I have highlighted 12 different areas within the course that could benefit everyone. So it's a very fundamental course. Some of the things that I'm sharing within the course haven't been taught in school, which is very important. And if anything, I think that more people should focus on the areas, in particular, perhaps how to improve themselves, how some of those courses can benefit large groups of people. That was the idea behind developing this course, as well as I have done it in a number of different formats. That would be PDF file, text format, as well as I have made videos, as well as if you would need any further guidance or if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Other than that, you can find it in the description below. The converge of advanced materials and additive manufacturing has opened up numerous possibilities for innovation. For instance, aerospace companies use advanced materials and 3D printing to create lighter and more efficient aircraft components. They might be interested in using that for prototyping, but not necessarily that's only way how they're doing it. Depending on what kind of problem some of those companies have, they might be interested in using other methods as well. So it's not necessarily limited to that, but they sometimes might use that for prototyping. Again, it depends on what kind of part they need to manufacture, as well as probably most of the people might know. Some of those parts need to be able to be durable and functional, something that most or some of the airplanes will need to operate 24/7, right? So that those parts and to developing those parts can take so much time, so much investment. So, yeah. So some people up there might feel all the intellectual profit of all that work that was put into manufacturing of some of those parts. But either way, healthcare professionals use biocompatible materials and 3D printing to make patient-specific implants and prosthetics. The combination of those two fields is likely to continue to drive technology advancements and improving various industries in the future. There are so many different opportunities within this industry, but again, that's engineering, and that's something that you perhaps need to work with people to some extent. So depending on what you are interested in, if you prefer working with machines, working with people, but there's in terms of opportunities and upside of high-end materials and how much opportunities have there, as well as large demand within different markets. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.